get started with some pre-planning. We have Kelly here, a relationship manager at People's Choice, to kick off our series. Hello, Kelly. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so a relationship manager. Does that mean I can bring my partner to you and you can sort out our issues? Do we talk about our lives? What does that mean?
So part of my role as a relationship manager is we really focus on building relationships with our members to help them along their financial journey and with our ultimate goal of helping our members achieve their financial goals. So some of the things that I typically help our members with is something as simple as opening a bank account right through to something as important as purchasing their first home.
Right, that's a really personalised service.
Yeah, previous to this role, I was a home lender as well for a couple of years with People's Choice too. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That's something I really value because I often find myself wanting to trust the person. I mean, everyone does, but it's a very big part of your life, and you want to know that the person you're talking to actually understands that. So that's really comforting to know that.
Very important, I agree.
So I'm thinking about buying a home and I come to you. When can I come to you? Can I come right now? I'm just thinking about it at this very time, and I don't have all the answers yet. I don't know exactly what I want. Is it all right to come at this stage, or do I have to come further down the line?
No, absolutely. I don't think it's ever too soon to come in and have a chat with us. We would encourage people to come into us right from the beginning so that we can have a chat with you around what the minimum deposit is that's required for you or what you need to work towards saving.
Yeah.
We can also have a look at what your borrowing capacity is as well and what you can afford. When you do have your deposit saved, we can then look at putting your pre-approval into place so that you then are in a position where you can make an offer on a property if you've found one.
So there's not necessarily anything I need to know before coming to you?
Not necessarily, no. It's always a good idea to have a look at your monthly expenditure of where your money is going each month and what you're spending it on.
Yeah, right.
Another good idea or something to think about is what you're earning as well and how much you think you can afford to put aside for a mortgage repayment.
Okay. That's really validating for me to know that I can just come as I am because it's not much. So that's really good to know. I heard there's a lot of grants out there that I can possibly apply for. I know it's a thing. You can get free money somehow, but I don't really know how to do that or what they are. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So when you come in and meet with us, that's something that we can step you through. There are various grants that are available to you that will help if you are building a home or will help you get into your home sooner with a smaller deposit.
Okay.
The grants do vary from state to state though, so it's very important that you do your research.
Yeah, of course. It's good you can hold my hand through this because I need it. So I guess the big scary question is, how much do I actually need in my bank before I can even think about buying a house?
It's a good question. Generally speaking, you need to have a minimum deposit of 5%, but that can range up to 20%.
Okay.
We just need to be mindful that if your deposit is less than 20%, then an insurance, which is known as lender's mortgage insurance, will come into place.
What's lender's mortgage insurance?
So lender's mortgage insurance is an insurance that's taken out by your lender to protect the lender, so it doesn't protect you, and the premium would be added to your loan.
Okay,
so
all right.
It's not something you have to pay for upfront.
Okay, so if you pay more, you could potentially not have to pay the lender's fee.
That's
the
right.
lender's mortgage insurance, right?
Yes.
And if you pay less, then it applies.
Correct. So if
Okay.
your deposit is less than 20%, then there would be a lender's mortgage insurance premium that would apply.
Right, okay, yeah. So I've heard about stamp duty, but I don't really know what it is. I know it relates to buying a home. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So stamp duty is a property transfer tax that we pay to the state government.
Okay.
Does vary from state to state though, so very important to do your research. And it's calculated on the purchase price of the property or the value of the property, whichever is greater.
Right, yeah.
I also point my members to a calculator that we've got on our People's Choice website, which can show you how much you would be looking to pay for stamp duty.
Yeah, that's really helpful. So after all of those fees, are there more that I should be thinking about that maybe people don't necessarily immediately think of that they need to be paying that comes along with buying a house?
Yeah, so other fees that would be applicable when you are purchasing a property could be conveyancing costs. So it's always a good idea to check in with your conveyancer on how much they'll be charging you.
What's a conveyancer?
A conveyancer is someone that we go to when we purchase a property. They help us process the transaction. They also deal with the Lands Title Office on our behalf as well. So they're very helpful.
Right, yeah, of course, important.
Other fees that you need to be mindful of too are loan fees that your lender would charge. So they're just a couple of fees to think about when you are purchasing a property. But again, you would need to have a chat with your lender about any other fees that might come into play.
Sure, right, okay. There's a lot of things to think about and it's good to do your research. So I'm really starting to recognize that I need to think about budgeting. I am notoriously bad at budgeting. I eat out a lot with friends and I socialize around that. And I guess I kind of don't think about, other options. What are some tips and tricks that you can kind of give me and other people, but mainly me, on how I can budget better?
Sure. So I always like to start with, it's really important to set yourself a goal of what you need to work towards and what you need to save. So as we mentioned before, it's a great idea to determine how much deposit you would need to purchase your property, and that will then give you a goal to work towards.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Another idea that I like is to open a separate savings account and maybe title it something like house deposit or house savings. And what you can do with that too is you can transfer a portion of your pay to that account so that that money is being kept aside.
Yeah.
Some savings accounts that are available at the moment are great too, because you can make them deposit only, which means that once the money goes in, you can't then take it out and spend it on all those dinners.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. So there are things I can do. Would you say that like it's just about pulling back as opposed to cutting out?
Definitely. So I would have a look at what your monthly expenses look like on average and where your money is going. You'll probably find that once you start to have a look at that, there are certain things that you can cut back on, such as the social activities with friends. But in saying that, it is still important, obviously, that you are living your life as well and not sacrificing everything. So whilst those things are still important, you may have the potential to cut back on them as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in my life, or a lot of friends I have who are thinking about buying, get anxious about how much they should be spending while they're saving. I think that's good to hear that,
Definitely.
It's just about moderation,
Yep.
So this has all been really good, and I think I feel really confident that I could come to you and talk about all my issues financially. Of course, I won't bring my partner, but I feel like I feel really empowered to do all of those things. Thank you so much.
It's okay, no problems at all. Glad I could help.
Thank you. Before we finish, just a fun question: what's your must-have household item?
Oh, must-have household item. For me personally, when I was purchasing my first home, something that I knew I had to have was a nice bathtub. I've previously lived in properties with no bathtub and I'll never do it again.
Never again.
So that's definitely something that I look for when my must-have when I'm buying a house.
I think I might add that to my list also. So thanks for listening, everyone. For more info about this podcast and for more home buying resources, head to peopleschoice.com.au/first home buyer.